Syracuse, New York, Onondaga Lake. I'm Don Poyer. This is Steve Reynolds crawling into the cockpit of the Miss 711. Jim Kropfeld, the Miss Budweiser, the compressed air system being hooked up to his mask, ready to go to work, and Chip Hanauer in the Miller American likewise. Been a long time since these three turbine boats have raced against each other in a preliminary heat. And remember, 1 year ago, the Kenny Toyota, Leif Borgeson, driving the boat, suddenly blew over going down the backstretch. A mass of air shoving this 28-foot boat over, bouncing on its back and landing upright. It ended the driving career of Leif Borgeson. Let's hope that doesn't happen to anybody, of course, this year. Steve Reynolds in the Miss 711 is in Heat 1A, and he'll be going against his old friend Jim Kropfeld aboard the Miss Budweiser, national point leader. And finally, Chip Hanauer and the Miller American. In lane number 1 is the Miss Budweiser. Lane number 2, the Miller American with Chip Hanauer on the outside. Back a bit is the 711 with Steve Reynolds. There goes the 711. This could be an incredibly fast heat. The three fastest boats on the circuit. Here they go past the pits into the first turn on a very, very calm day here on Onondaga Lake. Budweiser, slight lead going into the first turn. Keep in mind now, the Miller American in second place, lane number 2. Not a chance to go out and test it all after the damage they suffered yesterday when they blew an engine. Budweiser in lane number 1, and in first place is Jim Kropfeld with a slim national point lead of about 130 points. And the man in second place, stalking him right now, Chip Hanauer in second place. Third place in this heat is the 711, and in national points. You have 1, 2, 3 in national points right there in the order of this heat as we go in to the east turn. Look at the Budweiser swinging wide, trying to make Chip Hanauer work even harder in the Miller American. Jim Kropfeld, the veteran driver out of Cincinnati, speed in lane number 1 and position number 1, 131.38 miles per hour as they come down the main straightaway. Look how calm it is, and the 711 has gone dead down in the east turn. Something wrong with the 711. You saw the lights flashing above the cockpit. That is the sign for the official judges that there is nothing wrong with the driver, but the boat is broken somehow. Second place is the Miller American as they come by now. The 711, look at the smoke coming out the pipe. My goodness, something wrong with the turbine engine, obviously. The Budweiser, though, is in lane number 1 as they come in, and in first place, this is the east turn. The Budweiser, the turbine-powered boat, and a turbine right behind him. Bernie Little, the owner of the Miss Budweiser, a very slim national point lead. 2 victories in 1986, that coming in Miami and in Evansville, Indiana. And we won't forget that race. It was a credible come-from-behind victory for the Budweiser. 4 victories, though, for the Miller American as he comes around the west turn. That's where the weather comes from usually here on Onondaga Lake. Look at the Budweiser. Water kicking up just a little bit now, but that's all from the boats. That is not from the weather here. Incredibly calm day here in Syracuse. High humidity, high temperatures. The humidity not exactly good for turbine engines, but they're running very well. The speed for the Budweiser, again, 132 miles per hour, inching up just slightly, as Kropfeld seems to be holding on to first place with little problems. And maybe Chip Hanauer is saying, I'll settle for 300 points, not trying to push the boat too hard since they did not have a chance to test after fixing it, working overnight, literally a 4-day job being done in about 18 hours by the Miller crew. An outstanding effort by the team. The Budweiser, crew chief Ron Brown, the man making this boat click, and Jim Kropfeld strapped into that rocket and running it down the back chute. We're going to have some extremely fast times because these boats, like I said, are the fastest in the world, and they could do very, very well on these calm waters. Skid fin, look at the boat getting a little out of attitude as it comes around the turn. They've had some problems handling with this boat. Looks like a little bang-up job or a little damage on the right spots and on the bottom of it, you see, with the Budweiser coming around. Back to the Miller American, the checkered flag waiting for Jim Kropfeld, who gets 400 points here in Heat 1A and extends his national point lead by another 100 points over the Miller American. Second place to this man, Chip Hanauer and the Miller American. So the point totals after one race. The Bud picking up 400 points, now with a 230-point lead in the national point standings. The Miller American second, and the 711, heartbreak, unable to finish. Down to the pits with Jim Hendrick.
Jim, a lot of racing going on before that 5-minute gun period. What was going on out there between you and Hanauer?
Well, it's a typical driver's race now. We have boats that are very similar in speed and handling, so it's coming down to where I'm doing my thing and just having a lot of fun. And we were doing our dogfight in the infield for about 2.5 minutes there, which Kind of surprised me Chip got in there so quick. Usually waits the last minute.
Okay, let's go down now to the Miller camp, and here's Don. Don?
Chipper, first concern, how's the boat running?
Okay. It's staying together anyway.
That was quite a show you and Jim were putting on out there trying to set up for the start.
Yeah, it was kind of dogging me down here in the little corner. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Well, as long as the boat's together, you should be all right for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we'll try and make some changes and hopefully go a little faster.
Here's a familiar face in a brand new uniform. Jim Lucero, builder and designer of virtually every winning boat on the circuit today, is now with the 7-Eleven team as a consultant working for Steve Woomer. We'll have Heat 1B coming up in just a moment.